Okay, so move. Left mouse button is to interact. Okay. Ellie was a solemn and beautiful girl, the youngest of all of them, with a mind unfit for lofty thoughts. She had once come in here to see if there was any old firewood. Otherwise, she stayed in her cluttered house where it was warm and familiar. Abel loved Isa. Whoops. Abel loved Isa and he loved Danielle and Ellie, but when his mind wasn't turned toward their well-being, it was filled with thoughts of bleak hopelessness. Sometimes he would rifle through the barrel. The promise of undiscovered trinkets raised his spirits, if only temporary. Daniel was a quiet man. He spent his life lost in the books of old or lost in his own thoughts. He wondered where the barrels had come from and who had put them here. Isa was the oldest, and if not the wisest, certainly the most learned. She remembered when Josiah still lived, and she would sit on this crate and listen to his stories. Those memories, like so many others, were bittersweet. Okay, so anywhere there's a question mark, there's like something to... Am I stuck on? Okay, it's locked. Fireworks! No! My bad. I didn't realize that would actually exit, so now I have to start all over. I just wanted to turn down my sensitivity. Okay, there was nothing there. They reached the ruins and strolled leisurely through them toward the shoreline. Isa could remember when the old buildings still stood here, filled with families. I'm sorry, he said, and he cried because he often cried during these talks. For what, she said. For a lot of things. These conversations were not new. Long ago, Isa had learned to love Abel despite and for his despondency. She hugged him as the wind tossed her long gray hair around. Isa kept a smile on her face, although she did not feel like smiling. She sat down beside the flashlight. What about Ellie? Has Ellie mentioned anything to you? She said. She didn't take it either, he said. Nor did I, and nor did Abel, she said. And yet, it's gone. The rusted junk cast shadows on the opposite wall. How do you know Abel didn't take it? He said. Because I trust him, she said. He's a dismal man, but he would never hurt any of us. Do you trust Ellie? Daniel didn't answer immediately. I trust all of you, he said, because that's how we have to live. Daniel, they're the last one I gave the key to, said Isa. Daniel stared at the mysterious control panels. He didn't meet her eyes. He never met anyone's eyes. I didn't take it, he said. Why would I take it? I'm the one that told you it was missing. I'm saying that she knows more than she's telling us, said Ellie. She keeps the chapel locked, and she's the only one with a key, said Ellie, leaning on the barrels and folding her arms. So you're saying she took it, he said. Okay, here we go. My problem is that she's a liar, said Ellie angrily, fiddling with the knobs on the machine as she paced around. And then I have to keep explaining this to you over and over again. You don't know her like I know her. Exactly. You're not an impartial judge, he said. Saying that she knows more than she's telling us, said Ellie. Oh, hey, books. What is your problem with ice, said Daniel, putting his book down. He was annoyed at being interrupted here. Okay, so where am I supposed to go? I'm supposed to enter the mountain at dark. The mysterious liquid had drained from the tank and into the water long ago. There were no spider webs on the skeletal remains. Whoops. The last of the spider died years ago. The night was wild and cold. The monster's tracks leading from the hatch were brand new, but the wind quickly erased them. Tracks? Nice place. I remember when the moon still shined, when each night was bathed in warm silver and the shadows were mysterious and friendly, and the island was a place of joy. That was many years ago. Since it disappeared, this place has become cold and stark, plagued by an inexplicable sense of loss and despondency. Daniel and Ellie are young. They do not feel it. They don't remember what the world used to be like. But Abel and I do, and we are both filled with a longing for intangible joys that it can no longer provide. For friends that do not exist, for feelings that cannot be reasonably felt. When I was younger, I smiled because I felt like smiling. Now that smile is a disguise. Excuse me. She took the knife from the shelf. The blade was dull and rusty, but it was still pointed. She was not smiling. I believe the word of Hector and the religious teachings that were passed on to me. Maybe the moon is still out there, hidden behind some cloud of darkness. And maybe the ones who went before us are waiting there. There's no way to know. We have to wait for death to find out. And truth be told, I am ready. I am ready for the beginning of a new adventure. Key! I have a key. I can't open it. What's the point of picking up the key? Go away, text. I guess the key wasn't for that. A lot of candles. They could make more candles, they couldn't make more wood, so Abel burned candles. There's an evil man on this island, and I know him well. We played together as youths. We have cried together. We have eaten together. We have loved the same women, betrayed by the same women. He is my constant companion and my worst enemy. He puppets my arms, legs, and mouth to his own selfish ends, and secretly hurts everyone I love as I watch, helpless, with their unshed, unfelt blood on my hands. He gifts my flesh with indescribable pleasures and blights my soul with unutterable despair. His name is sin, and we are irrevocably bound together. Surely there exists no hell worse than this. Abel read to escape. Daniel read to feed his lofty, strange thoughts. Isa read to pass the time. But Ellie? As far as Abel knew, she hadn't opened a book in years. What did she do all day? He didn't know. Sometimes he worried about her. He worried about all of them. Were they as melancholy as he was? Get the text out of my face. A childlike emptiness I feel, to find the most peaceful solace in fantasy. Define and masquerades a truth more vivid than reality. What sort of twisted villains are the ancient writers to taunt us with unreachable worlds more beautiful than our own? We have enough stored food to live long lives. When our wood runs out, we will be cold, but only so cold as to be uncomfortable. The water is rising, but it will be many years before it reaches our homes. Technically, we survive, but to what end? This island is all of the world we know, and is nothing but the broken pieces of a fairy tale. I don't understand why I can't open that stuff. Stop popping stuff up in my face. What were you and Abel doing at his house yesterday whilst climbing the mountain? He answered, casually flipping through the book on her table. It was covered in dust. I think it was supposed to be he asked. Ellie was laying on the bed. Daniel came in. She scowled at him suspiciously and beautifully. What were you and Isa doing in the old power building? What were you talking about? Okay, nothing. Daniel stared at the pile of wood. He hadn't burned wood for months. Let's talk about Ellie instead. Abel was silent for a moment. What about Ellie, he said. Daniel didn't need to answer. Abel swallowed. All right, let's talk about Ellie. I need an outlet to charge this thing. Abel often visited Daniel. He loved to talk, and Daniel loved to listen. Isa and I were out for a walk, said Abel as he entered. I thought I'd stop by before you got caught up in a book. Daniel put his book down. Hello, he said. His expression confused Abel. I need to charge this. Oh, this must be the water. Okay. Is there anywhere to charge this here? I don't think so. The door is rusted shut. It would never open. Let me go charge this. And then there's a door there, and there's something to go down here. But I need to charge the flashlight. Supposed to enter the mountain. I'm assuming through that door? Okay, I can't go in there. Come back when night falls. Okay, it's not night yet. I thought it was. I don't know why I have a key and yet it won't open anything. I guess the key only opens the mountain. A strange, acidic smell emanated from the pipe. Well, the wind stopped. I don't know when it becomes night. Excuse me. Is there something I haven't found? We're old, Isa, said Abel, and we're getting older. We've been getting older since we were born, said Isa. She was always smiling. Abel never smiled. Oh, the key must have unlocked this. Because this was locked before. Daniel was still thinking about his talk with Abel the day before as he absent-mindedly picked the book up. Something caught his eye, or rather the lack of something. Oh, the moon sliver was gone. He stared at the empty dais for some time, struggling to comprehend this simple, shocking fact. Had someone moved it? Isa, perhaps. She was the only one with a key to the Chapel of Infinite Light, but Ellie or Abel could have borrowed it from her as he had done, or taken it. Regardless, he had to tell the others. The word of Hector the Fourth. Again, the moon came to Hector in a dream. The woodland teeth is vanquished, it said. Your people are safe for now. But it still waits, lurking in the depths. It fears the moon sliver, and it will not dare appear again while the holy document remains in your possession. But know this, should the moon sliver ever be destroyed, even my divine light will not be able to save you from the wrath of the woodland teeth in the darkness of hell. Keep it safe, keep it ready, and may you live in prosperity on this island that I have given you. Let your prosperity be a sign that the words I speak are true. Oh, hey. The word of Hector 1, the first. The moon sliver was written by the pure spring rain upon pages of dried leaves and found by noble Hector. The moon spoke to Hector, saying, Take this, the moon sliver, and make for it a place in the Chapel of Infinite Light, for it is a holy document. Man cannot read it, but its every letter is known to the demons of the night and greatly feared. Know that it will protect you, or even should my light cease to bathe the night in holy silver. Give it a place of honor and treat it as a prized possession, for it is your weapon against evil. And so Hector took the moon sliver and placed it in the Chapel of Infinite Light upon a silver pedestal. And the night was warm with light, and the day was bright with warmth. Okay. So this is a chapel? Oh, hey. The word of Hector II. The woodland teeth, the monster of the forest, was more tenacious than the other demons. It hated the people of Hector and desired to take the island away from them, and it lurked in dark corners and unseen passageways, scheming horrific schemes. It came to pass that Ursula was taken, stalked by the woodland teeth in the dark underground, attacked, and dragged down to hell. Then the moon came to Hector in a dream and said, Hector, the time has come. Your great enemy has arrived, and it would all do well to tremble, for his power is great and his you would all do well to tremble, for his power is great and his depravity is unspeakable. Go, take the moon sliver from its pedestal and do battle. And so Hector went to the chapel of infinite light and retrieved the moon sliver and went into the tunnels. The word of Hector III. Most of the text is illegible. Hector descended, darkness, terrible whispering, infinite and deep, did not know how long he wandered, promises of brutal torture and mutilation waiting, begone teeth of the forest, spoke the holy incantations written upon, returned to the surface.